Commissioner Yakabuchi did interpret that weapons had been found when the January 2002 searches were conducted. Those weapons, we learned today, a switchblade. So there are nuggets of information here. We just need the time to comb through them, but the net effect is the same, that these were shoddy investigations and these men were improperly characterized and accused of having links to Al-Qaeda, and that was patently false.
But I guess my question was, you have the same facts, but yet when you heard Mr. Yakabuchi and you heard Minister Day, they don't seem to be as outraged as the government was back when we got the O'Connor report about Mr. Harar. How do you explain? Well, first of all, maybe you don't agree with my statement. Maybe you don't think that they don't come to the same kind of conclusion. But if you agree with me, how do you explain the gap? How do you explain that they don't seem to be so outraged?
I think part of that was the way that the government handled this. It was calculated to not have any publicity through the course of the investigation. And Commissioner Yakabuchi doesn't appear to have taken issue with that with the government by saying, you know, it would instill confidence in the public to have a little bit of publicity and questioning in public about what happened here, like was done in the Arar case. But no, he didn't. He accepted it and, in fact, interpreted his mandate very, very narrowly so that there was virtually no public hearings whatsoever. We didn't get a single piece of evidence. We didn't get to examine a single witness. It was all done in secret over the last 2 years. So, of course, there's not the same kind of outrage. Canadians haven't been brought, like I read some of the blogs in one of the press reports, and one of the guys says, well, you know, why are they complaining now? Why didn't they complain when Arar was complaining? Well, you know, they did. They were here. They weren't even allowed in to the Arar Commission until the very end of it, and then only 2 of them were allowed in. So I think it was a calculated effort to keep it out of the public eye so that they can downplay. I mean, how much criticism does the government want to take for these kinds of things? That they learned from the Arar Commission to play it differently, to keep it secret.
And just look at the release of the report. No lockup. As a torture survival, I have limited cognitive abilities. I have, you know, limitation in reading and digesting things, and I'm expected to read this whole report in half an hour, and, you know, no lockup. When did the advisory that today the releases will be at 1 o'clock, when did it happen? Wasn't it last night? I mean, even for the reporters, for you people who you relate things to the Canadian public, I don't think many people who they are outside Ottawa would have been able to make it here and report on the issue. So even to the last minute, you know, unfortunately, someone was calculating that they don't want publicity whatsoever on this issue.
We're not even halfway through our list of questions, and so I'd just like to ask people to proceed as quickly as possible. David Battistelli at Omni.
What are the chances of getting a quick apology and compensation?
Probably very minimal.
Why?
Well, there are civil actions pending. There have been no steps taken at this point in time to move those along. I can't see, given the way that they've acted, that they will move very quickly now.
Even though I hope that they would do the right thing and step up to the plate again and do the right thing. I mean, I think enough is enough. We have suffered enough, and I think the government could do something quick and issue an apology immediately.
Does this report allow you to get on with your life?
Not really, no. No, I mean, this is not a full report. This is an inquiry which was very limited. I did not have full participation in this inquiry. But what I'm saying is that the government could, I mean, knowing now how much Canada is complicit in what happened to me and my torture, 22 months of torture, I think the Canadian government has an obligation to its citizens to at least ease that suffering now and do something that would ease the suffering going on. And hopefully, eventually, I don't think it will come a time when I would say, oh, it's over, I could go back as if nothing happened during these 7 years. The torture will stay in, I mean, I think for the rest of my life, if not in the physical injuries I have would be constant reminders. Some of them will be just getting worse and worse with time. Some of them, yes, got better, and I'm happy with that. But some of them will just get worse, and that would be constant reminders. So I'll never be mentally and physically the same, and the same thing for Ahmed and Moayed goes.
Don Charles, Toronto Star. Oh, Donna's.
I'm Berg.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering if you could summarize sort of the status of the civil suits right now and whether this report you think helps or hinders those claims.
I think there's no doubt the reports would help in relation to the civil suits. The civil suits have all been put on hold pending this report. So there will have to be steps taken to address the civil suits now. Nothing's happened on them, and as far as I know it as well in Mr. Almalki's case, the government has not filed statements of defense. That's the step that now needs to be taken.
I think the bigger, better question is, do people who have suffered serious human rights violation deserve redress and compensation? And our system of justice resoundingly says
touched on already.
the answer is
You had
yes.
said the system of justice says yes to compensation, but you're not expecting anything quickly. Are you expecting anything eventually in terms of compensation now that you've seen it?
That's a question you should put to the government.
Thank you. Unless there are any further questions, that would conclude the first portion of the.
I just wanted to know from the three gentlemen, how much of this report is news to you? I mean, have you learned anything from reading that report, or did you know most of the evidence that was in there?
For me, I have very hard time concentrating. And like Abdullah said, that we only had half an hour to an hour just to go through over 300 pages. So I don't know what's inside. So I can't answer the question now.
I mean, anything, are there things which I did not expect? Well, the things that the RCMP had absolutely nothing against me, and even the labels was used from other people, and it wasn't even labels about me. I knew myself. From day one I've said I have no links to anyone, to any group, and I have not committed anything illegal. So that's not news to me. The news is how they were not following the legal process, and they are playing around with things in order to achieve their goals. But other things such as sending information to Syria before my biographical information and saying that I'm an imminent threat and related to Al-Qaeda before my detention, well, I knew that information was sent to Syria. I didn't know what that information, what was in that information. Now, something very striking as well here, that the information was not only sent to Syria, but a good number of countries. It was sent to Paris, London, Delhi, who else? It's Egypt, Syria. I mean, a huge number of countries, my information was sent to them. Why? And will the government now send communication with all these governments whom they sent communication before falsely about me, linking me to things which I have absolutely nothing to do with? Will they send the letters to them, and would they demand and speak with them to correct the record? Otherwise, my life will always be in danger when I travel.
Thank you very much. We'll be returning.
I want to comment on this. All the stuff in this report are new to me. And I tell you one thing, that I'm coming from a background, a dictatorial regime. So I know seriously how dangerous this stuff, how you're involved in any political active. So this is all are new to me. Thank you.
All new or not new?
New.
New. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll be back in an instant with the next set of guests.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.